All right, you guys, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about how quickly jealousy can show up in public spaces. This video connects with women and men. If you're someone who benefits from featureism, maybe you have a nice looking face, a nice body, a certain hair texture, or a skin tone people tend to favor. If you benefit from the way you look, you've likely experienced jealousy before. So this video is about understanding how jealousy moves, how it shows up in everyday moments, and how to stay spiritually aware when you're the one being watched. In this image, you can see how jealousy can rise up fast. One woman is minding her business, just checking her phone, and another woman is staring at her with envy. The girl on her phone has features that people often notice from a distance and up close. She's light-skinned with curly long hair and balanced facial features that alone is enough to trigger insecurity in others. This moment shows how jealousy can move quietly and quickly. The girl on her phone is in her prime. She is about 24 years old, focused on her life, not even realizing someone is projecting envy onto her. That's how it usually happens for people who benefit from featureism or lookism. The jealousy comes out of nowhere and the person is caught off guard, right? Spiritually, this connects to the Bible scripture that we don't wrestle with flesh and blood, but with unseen forces. In this case, the girl who is staring at the biracial girl with envy is battling with her flesh and her spirit. For the battle within her is envy. So, in this photo, the girl who is staring at the biracial girl with envy is battling with also her flesh and her spirit. The comparison and the resentment is taking place in her mind and soul. And so the person who is being stared at usually has no idea what is happening and what this is about to cause on a global scale. They don't understand how this is about to be the biggest impact of this envious person's life, because now this envious person has the idea of the type of person she wants to eliminate when she feels threatened. So a lot of people experience envy during their prime years, when their skin is glowing, their body looks good, their features are extremely visible, vibrant looking. And I also noticed this in college. I met many young women during my freshman year who were beautiful and full of potential. Two biracial girls I met. One of them, I forgot her name, but she was so pretty, and she did not get that far because she said girls were always jealous of her. The second one was, I believe, black and white too. And she told me girls always try to fight her. And I don't know what happened to her, but she basically was letting me know that this is a struggle, and especially as you're trying to get ahead in society where jealousy is great, it is a struggle, right? So oftentimes these women didn't get ahead because jealousy around them created obstacles. So I've seen it also with men too. Most of my guy friends who benefited from featureism, like I've told y'all before, my light-skinned guy friends, my biracial light-skinned guy friends, in the ages of 20 through 27-year-old didn't get that far in life because jealousy, and majority of people can't face jealousy, as jealousy is very dark and sinister. And the things that go down when jealousy takes place is very sad, because people die, people get beat up, people get hurt, people get paralyzed, people get PTSD. And so everybody cannot face jealousy properly because jealousy is spiritual warfare. Honestly, like I've said before, and I'm going to say it again, I don't see naturally attractive people outside anymore. And a lot of what we see nowadays is filtered and exaggerated features and looks today. I feel like most of these guys on Instagram look gay. And these girls and guys can look too filtered sometimes, too polished. It's like a weird polished look. But I'm saying that nowadays we rarely see naturally attractive people with the kind of features and looks that don't look forced, where their beauty is natural, not odd looking, and like that was that's their genetic makeup. Even without makeup, they look good. So here are some photos of clean, natural looking guys. They just look masculine, dress nice. The photo I don't like is with the red emoji of the guy, right? Because I put the red emoji because his eyebrow cut, it just gives a little bit of prissiness, and his style can feel visually jarring. However, the moment captured in this image reads like a classic jealousy triangle, not because anyone is doing something dramatic, but we see the micro behaviors lining up, and we know that these behaviors in real life are quiet, observant, tense, and indirect. It's really important to recognize micro behaviors in those little micro aggressive signs that show up when someone is jealous, because if you don't catch them early, you won't know how to dodge that energy. And for me, the reason why I have been able to dodge jealousy all my life is because I practice escapism. So you will never see me standing around someone who I know is jealous or shows microaggressive behavior toward me. There's no way I'm letting that kind of energy next to me or linger in my space. So let's speak about what signals jealousy here. The crossed arms of the woman is locked onto the woman with the phone. Her crossed arms are a territorial posture. Her body is angled toward the woman with the phone, not the man she's with. And that tells you her attention and her threat perception is focused outward onto that biracial woman. Her expression isn't neutral, it's evaluative. She's not smiling, not distracted, not helping with the groceries. She is watching that woman who's looking at her phone. And that watching is the giveaway. Jealous people monitor. So that's one of the clear signs that I notice of a jealous person, is that when they don't just glance at you, they don't just, take a little stare and then go do their thing. They watch you until you leave the public sight. So jealous people do monitor a person that they're jealous of, because they insinuate in their mind that you are a problem to them and they need to get rid of you. So whenever I go in a room and all of a sudden a group of girls stop talking and doing what they normally do, and then they look at me very closely, I know that that's jealousy taking over them. And once that occurs, then another thing occurred. Then they're following you. Then they're watching how you speak to the guys in the room. But the thing is, she's looking so close at this girl with her phone, because she thinks that, well, if my man looks at her, then my man is going to desire a woman like her. But her man is busy. Her man is putting up the groceries. She could have done herself a favor by putting up the groceries with her and getting up in that car and going home. But instead she's so insecure that instead of being engaged with her partner, she pulls back and observes the girl on her phone and perceives her as rival instead. So it's like, you're causing your own drama. And that's what they say, a jealous person wrestles. They can't go to sleep, because a jealous person is in a wrestle, because it's like they bring their own darkness. They bring their own conflict to them. So the woman with the phone is minding her business, which often triggers more jealousy, because when you're nonchalant and you're not even paying attention to the microaggression. It can evoke jealousy more in a jealous person because it's like you're being emotionally mature and the jealous person is detached from emotional maturity. So it only irritates them more because emotional maturity, spiritual maturity is not even connecting within a jealous person. You get what I'm saying? So the girl is focused on her phone, which can make the person feel more threatened because they can't read her intentions. And it's sad that it be this way. The physical distance tells a story that the jealous woman stands closer to the man, almost like a silent claim of territory while still keeping her eyes on the other woman. And this is exactly how jealousy shows up in everyday public spaces. Not loud, not confrontational, but in the stare that lingers too long, the crossed arms, the monitoring, the emotional withdrawal from the partner, the fixation on the other woman instead of the relationship. That's why I stopped going to parties, because a lot of times when girls be in there with their boyfriends, they would watch me thinking that I want their man monitoring me. And so I know now not to go in a room full of people that are not on the same beauty level as me, are on the same mental level, because everyone is not spiritually mature. That's the reality of living in this world. And majority of people are not biblically trained. They run on emotions. They don't run on biblical thinking. Like, well, she's not looking at my boyfriend or talking to my boyfriend, so I shouldn't worry about her. No, they run on emotions. She looks good. My boyfriend's going to see her and they're going to get together and have sex. And that's not even realistic because we're all raised differently. And, but that is how most women think. That is how most women think. And because of that, this is why we have all this jealousy, this division, and this confusion. So, that's why back in the day, I used to tell pretty girls, let's start a group, let's stay connected, let's support each other. And they would laugh, but I was serious because it was about having community and about being around people who understand you, where you experience less targeting by jealousy. This also goes the same for men who benefit from featureism and lookism. They should also find support groups that they can rely on. Because if you benefit from any type of featureism in this time of day, if you're visible, people are going to be jealous of you. And when people don't have support, jealousy will wear them down emotionally. A lot of times people who don't have support, when they're dealing with tons of jealousy, oftentimes get taken over by jealousy tactics. Like everyone cannot overcome jealous people, because when jealousy arises in a person, a jealous person has no limit as to what they will do to you. And this is why a lot of times when we deal with jealous people, we just want to separate from them. And that's why I've never treated jealousy like something small. I've seen too many beautiful people get dragged into conflict and emotional abuse because someone did not like their presence. So for me, this conversation isn't about vanity. It's about awareness, protection, and understanding how real jealousy can be subtle, but the emotional microaggressive behavior is unmistakable. When someone is jealous, they usually can't hide it. It slips out in their body language, their tone, their energy. You have to be able to recognize those signs early. And once you do, it's important to keep your distance from that person and protect your peace. Jealousy isn't harmless. It's a real emotional force that can mess up people's lives who are simply just trying to live. When you understand the signs, when you learn to trust what you feel in someone's energy, you give yourself the power to step back and stay safe. This isn't about thinking you're better than anyone. It's about honoring your spirit, protecting your peace and recognizing when someone's insecurity is trying to attach itself to you and destroy you. Awareness is what keeps you grounded, and distance is what keeps you whole.